Gaming is culture.
You fucking whiny whore.
Gaming.
Here you go for any of the high school DXD fans out there. Bruh.
Good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, Patriot Ranker, thank you for that.
All right.
Rage quit. Starting off the evening on the right foot there. 500 kicks to cap, 5 years. No sobriety rate. Yes, it's true. This evening is 5, I think 9, whatever. I think it's 19. Okay, so it's 4 years, 11 months, 30 days, 19 hours, 43 minutes. So whatever that minus 24 is. So what is that, 3 hours? 3 hours and 15 minutes. So 9:45, I think. Swing, thank you for the full sentence.
You could pull any woman if I... I wish that... Dude, I wish that was the case. Nah. That's not realistic at all. Hell no.
What's the source of the intro? That's a mashup of Matrix Code, obviously.
I wish that was the
38.
case.
And then there's a bunch of royalty-free music that you can get on YouTube Studio in the back end that I've been using for like 2 years now, and I like it. Sets an ambiance. The intro with the wood shop is my father's shop, and then I went over there like 2 years ago and was covertly recording him. Chili Flame just resubscribed. Thank you, Chili Flame. Really appreciate you, brother. Yeah, if you guys are still members over on YouTube, this is a great reminder to go ahead and subscribe on Kick and cancel your membership on YouTube. I think that I still got, like, this will make people really, really rage. It's amazing what makes people rage. Yeah, so I still made like $142 on YouTube last month, and it was just for memberships. So whatever half of that, what double that is, there's still like $300 worth of memberships being collected on the YouTube side. I'm up to $70 for this month, so I'll take it. But if you're a member on YouTube and you watch me over here, just come over here and subscribe on Kick. It's only covert. Whatever. He didn't know I was recording that video. Is my point. God. Anyway, yeah, I like it. I put that together. It's just, you know, the intros, I experimented with just starting there for a while, but my start times are so inconsistent because I just, like today, I was going to be on 30 minutes prior to when I'm on right now, but my hard drive failed to post to the computer, and I had to restart my entire computer and unplug the powered USB.
What? His hard drive failed to post to the computer. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean.
Dock and then replug in things in a certain cadence to get it to post to the computer. It's really infuriating. And
what? Yeah.
That set me back a half an hour. So you know, you never know when you're going to have that sort of stuff happen. You're not gonna know when you're gonna have that kind of stuff happen. So it is what it is. We're on now. Obviously, my actual sober date is like 9:45 or 10:45. I can't remember which. So we're just gonna. I have a lot actually, believe it or not, pulled up. I was given a great gift, and okay, so yeah, we're just not gonna tolerate it tonight, guys. Thank you, moderators, for doing what you're doing tonight. I'm sure we're gonna have a lot of bullshit this evening, because you know when you have anything that you're actually proud of, and you actually have accomplished, people will stop at nothing to make sure that you are hopeless about that. I have
this music, bro.
I was blessed by Lonnie with a recommendation, and we'll get into it. Apparently, Miss Kamikaze went on a 2-hour live stream last night and dropped some nuclear bombs about how she got friend zoned. Do not date YouTubers. We'll get into that. I've got a video about antidepressants that I actually am interested in watching. I've got a new Amanda. I've got Shelby's tab on refresh constantly, just in case, just to annoy everyone that hates me.
He has Shelby's tab on refresh constantly. Totally not obsessed, dude.
And I have a new Owen Easy. I've also got Chadlet's newest video. It's his birthday, apparently. He just turned 30, and he says he has nothing to show for it, so we're going to get into that as well. But I'm going to start by actually talking, because I never actually do that for myself. David Bowie, 5 years. I don't know it. He stole your title. That's what YouTubers do. That's. I've had people steal everything. Everything I've said has been stolen and repurposed by someone else, with hair and better looks than I have. So there's absolutely nothing.
Poor Raymond. Everyone just steal, because he has such, you know, unique and never before heard thoughts from his mind that he has to share. No one's ever said what Raymond said before, dude. It's all completely unique.
You're gonna be able to keep for yourself on YouTube, period. It's just not gonna happen. Anyway, yes, today is 5 years since I've imbibed any mood or mind-altering substance, as they say.
Dude, that Kamikaze chick is gross, and he wants to bang her, too. Like, he really does have bad taste in women, so it is kind of surprising he can't get laid. Like, the type of chicks he's into are just gross, dude. Generally speaking.
Yes, I drink coffee. They have coffee in AA. Shut the hell up. Raymond did it. That's about it, right? No, there's actually some sayings and some things I've noticed people started using.
It's a splash of bourbon in the coffee.
After I started streaming, and it's like, okay. Everybody watches me. I've just come to the conclusion that yes, everybody actually does watch me, which is fine. It's good. I'm glad. I'm blessed to be influential and controversial. Apparently, people hate me. That's all right. But yeah, in all seriousness, I want to talk for a little bit here. It's kind of a big day, and as you know, I can't make videos and publish them on YouTube. Otherwise, I would have already. Today, I mowed my lawns. I got halfway through my second lawn, my main lawn, the lawn that I'm singing right now with my house. I got halfway through that one, and then I ran over a hornet's nest, which is odd because I've never seen a. Yeah, a lot of people started saying sex havers. I noticed that. Yes, Shu said that too. Ran over a hornet's nest, and which is odd because I've never had an issue with that in this yard. So that's a new thing in the last couple of weeks that one has popped up.
God.
I did not anticipate that. And I looked down and I started noticing these weird flies or something flying around my arms and stuff. And then like one was like grabbing at me, and it was a little more aggressive than just like a sweat bee or something. But it was like small, and I realized in my brain I turned on what it was, and I slapped it away really hard because it was trying to latch onto my arm to do its thing. And I looked down at my jeans.
Oh my God.
And there was like a dozen of them crawling up my jeans and where my shoes were. And thank God I wore jeans. I almost just wore cargo shorts to mow it today, which is a mistake. You can't do that.
Wow.
Because you'll die of sting from a bee. And
what? Yeah, dude, you'll die from the sting of a bee.
Or, a rock hitting your... It's awful. It shoots right up in your nutsack and just hits your balls. And so...
What?
I realized that they were on my shirt too. And then I started hearing buzz because I let go of the lawnmower and it got silent, right? And then I realized they were buzzing all around me and I was standing on a hornet's nest. And I don't think I ran that fast up to the front of the yard in a little bit. It's been a while. These were hornets. These are not bees. Yeah, the rocks and stuff. I've learned that lesson the hard way. I will mow in jeans no matter how hot it is. So I was screaming and I was like taking off the shirt and smacking them away and stuff. And I could hear him like buzzing and feeling buzzing around my head.
Screaming and taking his shirt off. Imagine being the neighbors, man. They're probably thinking, well, our property value just went down.
And like trying to latch on. None of them got me, thank the good Lord. But I quit mowing and I went and grabbed my insecticide, the Spectricide stuff, the 27-foot stream stuff, and I had like one can of it left from a few years ago, well, 1.5 basically. I stood as close as I could without feeling like they were gonna swarm me, and I just started spraying, and I sprayed the lawnmower, and I opened the other one, and I extinguished the entirety of that thing on that lawnmower and on the area. And I was able to get the shirt off and everything and confirm that I didn't have any hornets on me. And then I was able to get the lawnmower back into the shop and just close down the shop. So like half my lawn in the back is still pending, mowed, and it's been like 4 weeks. But does anybody see that? Does anybody actually go outside? And then if anybody actually looked at my lawn otherwise, would they see, my trees are all crazy and my bushes are crazy and I have dead trees on the side of the yard, and I just mowed it out of not boredom or obligation, just in a sense of like, well,
it's an audio filter, so he can't copyright claim it.
I should probably do this today because I have a day off at the time. And of course I went over to town and got the front of that yard mowed, and it was very thick and very wet. And I'm very, very happy I accomplished that. So that's what I did with my day. And of course I just kind of hung out this morning. No, there's no HOA here. If they try to do that, I don't think they'll get very far. There's just that peer pressure because you see everybody mowing and weed whacking. And literally all people do around here in this, well, anywhere I guess, is yard maintenance. Whether that's a weed whacker, an edger trimmer, a mower, chainsaw, or lawn tractor, or fucking digger. The house down the way, they were repaving their freaking parking, whatever that thing's called, driveway. And I remember when I first bought this place, I was working on it because I was replacing the floor and then I was painting, right? And so I didn't replace the floor. I laid down some sections to bolster it up, and then I laid laminate wood plank down, and that was my replacement of the floor. So I did the same thing in the other house, and carpet too. The house. I'm so pissed about that house. I walked into that house, and there's like big old. There's stuff I gotta take care of. But I was working on this house. I was like, I remember it was like the end of my basically work day. I was gonna go back because I bring my computer and just have it on hotspot the entire time and just basically work while I was working here, which was fine because I didn't really do much. In the office job, which again, if anybody actually has worked in office job, you realize that at a certain point, especially if you're like development or something like that, once everything's automated and set up, really all you're doing is checking on those things and making sure they're still running. And that's like the perfect job for a drunk, to be honest, is when you really only have to focus like 2 hours out of the day. I mean, I was sending emails to, when I worked at the other company for millions and millions of recipients. I never made a mistake once. Whenever it was a mistake, I could always trace it back to the content partner or the...
Oh my God, dude. Holy shit.
The distribution list or the marketing partner. It was never me. Check my Venmo. Okay, thank you, man. Thank you guys. I don't have. Do I have alerts? Let me just check everything real fast. And yeah, PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App are all in the channel description. And I do appreciate any and all support I can get on any of those platforms. $50 from Rhode Island is hell. Thank you, man. Congrats, Raymond. 5 years is no small victory. Keep up the great work, man. Thank you very much, my friend. That's incredibly generous. That's crazy generous. Thank you very much. I will use that for whatever it was that I paid today. I think I paid electric and my gas for the other house today. That'll go towards those two. Thank you very much. And it looks like I got something else. Oh, Sandmon resubscribed. Thank you, Sandmon, for resubscribing on Kick. Really appreciate you, brother. Thank you, Rhode Island. I appreciate that. I call you Reshell, but you said to call you Rhode Island as hell, so I'll call you Rhode Island because I don't know anything about Rhode Island. And I always thought Rhode Island was interesting because in my mind, Rhode Island was what, the smallest state you can get. So it can't be that bad. It has lighthouses and ocean. It's not
dude.
Delaware, Fucking Joe Biden. Like, anywhere but Delaware. I'd rather live in Maine than Delaware. Maine has like a 17% income tax rate, for God's sakes. So anyway, I was doing like 2.5 hours worth of work on a hotspot on my little laptop, and I was also working on my properties, basically. Basically extension of Massachusetts. Well, I thought it was farther down than Massachusetts. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But my experience with the East Coast stops at Jamaica, Queens, because I have never really, well, Flushing, Queens, really, that's more east than Jamaica, I think. One of the two. I think I ended up out in Crown Heights once or twice, and that, I think, was the farthest east. When I lived in New York, I always had this thought in my head that I would go to Montauk in February, like the famous MK Ultra movie, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. But I never...
God, dude. Dude, it's just like my favorite movie. He loves talking about that movie, bro. Is it like one of those literally me for real moments? I have no fucking idea what that movie's even about. I've never really even heard of it. But he keeps bringing it up constantly.
I never got out there. I always wanted to recreate that for me, just for myself, and I never did. And maybe one of these days when I drive up there inevitably, when I just like feel like it, I'll go out to Montauk. I don't know. It's things you think about. That movie, I didn't realize this, but it's an MK Ultra movie. It's about memory erasure and honeypotting and plant agents and assets and stuff like that. Like the Mary Jane character. I cannot remember her fucking name. All I ever know her as is Mary Jane from Spider-Man. We got Ocho Zendo with fucking 5 subs. Thank you very much, man. Awesome, big support. We need more subs. This is great. Yeah, subs have been. I do appreciate the kicks because they have Jamaica me crazy, man. Yeah, exactly. Well, Jamaica Queens is like east on. It's past. I can't remember which one is more east, either Flushing or Jamaica. But I worked in Flushing for a month, legitimately. And that was the worst job I ever had. But thank you, Ocho Zendo, for 5 subs. Really appreciate that. Yeah, it is a big day. 5 subs for 5 years. See, this is a great combo. But anyway, like I was saying, I was working on this house, and then the neighbor lady, because I was getting ready to go back to my other house because I was still living over there because this was not livable yet. I didn't have anything to move over. And my neighbor lady, this comes back to the lawn. So just give me a second. It comes back to the lawn. I promise. My fucking neighbor lady,
this John,
she got this like sour, bitter fucking face, and I can't remember what her fucking name is, but she pulled into my driveway. I don't know why, but she pulled into my driveway, and it's like really nice Buick or whatever, like one of those new ones that are really fancy. And she got like this yapping dog in her lap, sort of thing. It's like rich bitch.
Oh shit! Daikaiju pictures with the trophy for 1,000 jewels. Appreciate it, bro. Thanks so much.
Aesthetic, and she's like, "What are you going to be renting
Much
this place
appreciated.
And I'm like, "What do you?" I said, "That's exactly what was my response." What? She said, "What are you? You're renting this, right?" I said, "No, I'm gonna live here." She said, "Oh, okay." And then she goes, "Well, now you can repave the driveway." And that was 2 years ago in July. And guess what looks worse than ever? My driveway. I will never repave my driveway because that bitch pulled in when I was tired.
Trophy cake for CC's cake. Exactly. That's worthy of an award.
And sweaty after a day of fucking whatever I was doing here, and had the gall to ask me A, how much I was going to rent it out for, assuming I was some developer, landlord, slumlord person, and B, if it was my job to repave the driveway, like it was some kind of blight that needed corrected. So it will never be repaved. And on the north end, the northwest end of the property where the driveway is, in full view of her, all the weeds and all the nasty, I haven't taken care of that at all. And it's so gratifying. Because every time I see her walk by, with her little fucking dog, she's got this like she's just sucking on a fucking sour grape. Yeah, exactly. Why is it any of her business? But anyway, I did my yard work today. I mow my grass. I do not worry about weed whacking. I don't worry about edging. There was some grass in my steps at the other place, and I did pull that because I don't want those steps breaking up because that's a pain in the ass to replace. And sometimes the city, because those steps are so close to the sidewalk, sometimes the city will send you notice like, oh. And that was the real reason that I went ahead and mowed that over there, because I did not want some tall grass notice from the city on that property. So anyway, I got as far as I could get on the yard work today, and yeah, I don't know what that is. That is, oh, no, Shredmaster, that is one thing I learned a long time ago. Doing yard work for some woman or doing any kind of anything it does not get you laid. It does not. Not that I've mowed anybody's grass.
Just a heads up, guys. In case you were wondering, mowing a chick's lawn does not mean you get to munch on her carpet.
Thank you, Sandmon. Really appreciate you, brother. So, anyway, that's what I did with my day. And then I made beef and eggs. I was going to make a steak, but I forgot when I was driving back. I just drove past the store.
An AK Casual Gamer with the 500 jewels. Really appreciate it, bro. Big ups.
I did not. So I figured, fine, I'll just make beef and eggs. And I did. And I ate it. And then I took a shower and I took a nap. And here I sit. I fixed my couch. Oh, kind of. So I figured out that the reason. Thank you, Ding Dong Master. I appreciate that sub. 5 years, let's go. Exactly. Thank you. Yeah, it's been, I fixed my couch today. My couch has had 2 of the spring things, because they have these springs that go over the whole, like couch is like lengthwise like this if you're looking at it from the top. And then they have these springs that go from the front to the back, and then they're tied with like this wire. It's almost like guy wire. And 2 of the spring clips broke very early on in me owning this thing. They just broke. And I never investigated how complicated it might be to fix it. And I took number 6, some, 1 3/4 number 6 screws, and they're the coarse thread wood screws, drywall screws. And I screwed them in where the spring was supposed to clip. And then I stretched the spring and got the spring around it, and then put another one in. So there's 2 screws on each of those springs now, and I laid down on it to take a nap after I took my shower and did all that, and it was like flat. It wasn't like some giant depression hump in the middle of it. And I've been sitting on this couch because I sit on it long ways with my laptop and everything, and like I like to have the couch on this side of me, so I'm kind of like, my posture's terrible because I've been sitting on this thing, and it's finally straightened out. So I'm very interested to see if my sleep improves and my everything else improved, and how long this actually is a practical fix for the problem. We'll see, right? But I don't know what took me so long. I had the cushions up, and then I was looking at the springs, and then I like noticed there was a hole in the bottom, and then I got my head up underneath there and kind of looked and realized that the spring itself was not broken; it was a clip. And I'm like, so they clipped the springs on these super like shoddy 25 gauge clips that you can snap with your fingers. No wonder it broke. I think they're designed literally with tolerances and a lifespan in mind that's going to be maybe 24 months. I actually don't remember because I bought that couch. I ordered it from Wayfair. It was on sale, and one of the reasons I ordered it is because it was like
So he bought a piece of shit internet couch and he's surprised it broke. Okay.
it was over 70, it was like 75 inches.
That's like being upset that your IKEA furniture falls apart. It's like, yeah, you bought it because it's cheap, not because it's good.
And I could lay down.
The movie's pretty good. It's about a doomer who falls in love with an alt chick and tries to erase her from his memory. It's one of the only Jim Carrey movies where he actually acts. Okay. Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Top of my head and bottom of my feet and have it not touch the sides. And that was very important to me.
But I guess it makes sense, you know. He so desperately wants to get laid, and especially by an alt chick. So maybe that's why he's like, it's literally me, for real, for real.
And I was heartbroken because it almost immediately, the one spring broke, and then somebody else sat on it, like when I first moved in here, and 2 springs broke. And it was like really, and I've had to like stack the cushions weird every time, and like they slide down, and it's been really uncomfortable. And so I'm hoping to have some improvement in my seating experience.
Why don't you just buy a new couch?
And general elevation of my enjoyment of my free time. Because I bought that whole recliner that leather. I don't know why I bought the leather one. I guess it was cheaper. The leather one was cheaper, but now I know why the leather one was cheaper, because the leather one is not as comfortable. It's just not. I don't know how else to put it. It's just not as comfortable. And it reclines weird, and it does recline all the way, but it's I didn't realize this. Recliners are meant for you to be looking at like something on the wall, right? Not a laptop. And I need one of those
Really?
laptop island things. Remember those with the little cloth underneath? They have like cup holders in them. That was a big thing in like 2005, were these laptop island. They were like a wood tray with like a beanbag underneath it that you put on your lap, and it had cup holders.
Oh my god, man.
And like handles on the side, remote holders. I gotta get one of those. But I spent $45 on wasp spray on Amazon today, because that was the other thing I did right after I ran away. Oh, you got one same swab? Nice. They probably have them at Walmart. That makes sense. Yeah, they're pretty nice. They're pretty nice. But I bought the 12 pack. I did buy a 12 pack. I bought it. 3 of them was $20, but 12 was $45. So I bought
Oh my god.
the 12 pack, and the 12 pack shipped Prime. This is something I did not realize about Amazon, is you have to make sure that it has the little Prime checkmark thing, and then it tells you exactly when you're gonna get it, because some of the stuff will be Prime like the next day, and some
Oh my
stuff will be Prime
god.
2 days from now, and then some of the stuff is gonna be Prime like 3 weeks from now, and you're still paying that. You don't get a refund on your Prime subscription.
Dude, this could be like a fucking torture technique.
And like, oh, I get emails all the time. You have streaming. You have it. I'm like, you still play commercials on me when I try to watch these movies. This is and when I try to watch them in my preferred viewing browser, it has all of these fucking glitches, and like the frames freeze weird, and it's super annoying. It's just like at a certain point, okay, fine, you have this movie, that movie, but I'm just like, why wouldn't I just say all the high seas at a certain point? You know, it's awful. And I'm paying. I think my Amazon Prime subscription is up to like $17 a month, either YouTube Premium or Amazon Prime. I don't remember which one it is, but I'm all told I'm paying probably $40 a month just for streaming subscriptions. And I mean, sure, I watch YouTube all the time, and technically you could call it a business write-off, but it's like the Prime shipping is not as good as
He's worried about writing off $17 for YouTube. Holy shit, man.
it used to be. Some stuff, like I ordered that Remington razor thing, and it worked really well. I mean, I'm really liking my new. I like the way the head looks these days. If you look, I got it way closer in the back than it usually is. See that? Look at those wrinkles and folds in the back of my head. Oh yeah, look at that. It's like a turtle. I love making people unhappy and uncomfortable at the sight of me. She can't stand the sight of me. Remember that movie? What was that movie? Oh, what was that movie? It was one of them. It was Phantom of the Opera or something. It's like one of those movies where it's like, she can't stand the sight of me. Just making Jeff Bezos a little rich. You know, at a certain point, I saw this other thing. It was very, very appropriate. And I thought, actually, you brought that up in my head. Thank you. Once you reach a certain level of like financial whatever, your life is not noticeably any different than Jeff Bezos. And they said it was something like $2 million. And I'm like,
Oh my god, dude, this is like, this is insane.
okay, first of all,
$2 million, you're living like Jeff Bezos. Okay, bro, sure.
like, I understand the concept of having luxury vehicles and the diamond encrusted virgin
Yeah, man, you're gonna be living the exact same lifestyle as fucking Jeff Bezos with a measly $2 million. Keep coping, bro.
cow leather sofas and circumcised penis condos. I don't fucking know. Like there's like these crazy luxury things that the rich people spend their money on. It's like at a certain point, I don't know. Like sure, it'd be nice to. That was the Dark Knight. I put it.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly. Bezos is yachting around the world on a $500 million yacht. He literally pays, I think, like what, $1 million+ a year just in fees to keep his shrubs too high. Like, he has to pay the city a fine of a couple $1 million every year just because the shrubbery around his house is out of code. But rather than trim it down, he would rather have the privacy and continue to pay the fine. Like, indefinitely, every single year. Like, what the fuck is this dude talking about?
Right, the Joker. Thank you. Thank you, Joker Cat.
She can't stand the sight of me. So I had this wife, and my dad, he was a drinker. Now I'm always smiling. I don't know how I got these scars.
But actually, I think to this day, that movie is probably my favorite villain, is the Joker. I really do think so.
It's because you want to be him.
It's so well done. And then you like researching like what he was going through at the same time, and then, of course his history with child acting and stuff like that, because he came up with Johnny Depp and the other guy that offed himself, Stand By Me guy, or the other one. Who was the other guy? Rain something. That's why you don't actually try to make a woman happy. Yeah, I don't care about women anymore. Okay, guys, I don't give a shit. I will laugh at them or I will fuck them if they're interested, but I don't care about them anymore. River Phoenix, thank you. Yeah, I can't remember anything, guys.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I've received enough tongue lashings about women. I'm just fucking done. I don't give a shit.
Now I'm always smiling.
Very portraits of workers. Yeah, he didn't care about the money.
All you people care about is money. Gotham deserves a better class of criminal.
Gambling and turning into a degen. Well, look, I mean, how is... Okay, so imagine inheriting the millions and just gambling.
Incognito wizard with the two. Dear Lord, he likes to yap like a girl about nothing. Yeah. Yeah, this is very feminine coded.
And turning into a degen. How is that different than the majority of society now? Every time I turn on anything, Twitter, YouTube, it's gambling, 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 gambling. Any normie is sports betting the farm at this point. I think I'm the only one concerned with paying off debt. You know what I mean? Like, there's nobody, we've reached the point of like no one cares anymore. I mean, when you have the president at his fucking meetings or whatever, saying things like, the only way to get rich is gambling,
that is true.
Well, the only reason I'm concerned with paying off debt is because I just don't, I really resent having to have a house payment. That's why.
The only way to get rich nowadays is gambling. So, whether it's speculation on alternative assets or legitimate just betting, yeah, it's pretty much the only way. I mean, you can technically in a traditional manner, but it's way harder.
And I think I'll be in good shape by the end of the year, so that'll be... I actually ran my math this morning. I think I will be. Someone counted all the bills in the Joker's money, printed $12 billion on fire.
See, I'm only bringing my half. All you people care about is money.
Boy, I've witnessed money destroy people. Tell me what about my day was bad. I mean, besides the hornet's nest. And I was able to order hornet spray and take care of it. I had somebody like...
I found out that Kamikaze Short Bus Lady would be a nightmare match for Raymond. Most of her videos are spurging about shitlib beliefs. Raymond has shitlib beliefs. Besides complaining about marrying a Holocaust denier. What I have disdain for her is when she is bragging about her Nepo status on the animation industry. Yeah, I don't know. But the thing is, dude, is Raymond is super lib-coded as well. Like, Raymond is a failed, like, lefty. You know, if he could have continued to get laid, he'd probably be a leftist right now. He's only quote-unquote right-wing, and I use that term very fucking loosely because of his circumstances. So... he would 100% fall in line with whatever leftist worldview presented itself if it meant that he could get consistent sex. That's all he cares about. There's very few principled beliefs.
To me about time and all this stuff. Oh, rich people pay other people to mow their lawns. Oh, so I'm going to pay somebody to mow my lawn, then I have to listen to the lawnmower right outside my window while I sit in here not doing anything? And be super annoyed? I mean, it already drives me insane when the guy is mowing his lawn 50 feet from my window. Could you imagine some Mexican mowing right outside? And don't start with me. They send Mexicans to mow the subcontracted lawns. Gambling guys? Yeah, I tried to play the lottery. It just got annoying because at a certain point you realize that if you buy 4 scratch-off tickets, you inevitably win something, and usually it's $5 instead of like the 20 that you spent on the leveraging the hell out of it. Well, 2.75 in 30 years. If you like the place, there's a difference. My mortgage is 8%, and this is just a house. It's not. I mean, it's a fine half acre, but it's a house. A house should just be a house. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be this Taj Mahal ode to your largesse. The things I see these people do around me with their properties, it's like, okay, I get it, but at the same time, it's like, no one is ever here. You know, I'm on pretty good terms with at least one of my neighbors. The other one talks to me when I say hi. The other one hates me, but I did go yell at him about mowing my lawn. And I'm like, okay, fine. You hate me, I hate you. That's fine. I'm gonna let my weeds grow.
You yelled at him for mowing your lawn? Why would you care if he mows your lawn?
Yeah, there was a window back in 2020, 2021 where they dropped mortgage rates down to like 2.75. It was a year, I feel like, but also the housing prices were skyrocketing. And what's hilarious about it is you look at the housing prices for like 2020, 2021, and they're like 25% less than what they are now. See, I couldn't get approved for anything back then, and then by the time I was able to get approved, the rates were 8%. And you know, I took a $90,000 mortgage out to pay for this place. I put 25% down, and 20%, that's 25,000. And I'll have it done. It's down to 45. I'll have it done. And you know, like I said, the taxes are low and the insurance is not terrible. I don't like. My neighbor told me he's got conventional loan, and his insurance company literally made him repaint, re-roof, replace the roof, put a new roof on his barn, and repaint the thing. And the only issue with the barn was the vinyl siding was not on the front, and it was just a tieback. The roof was fine. I was looking at it, and he had to spend 2 months doing that. And I'm like, your insurance company made you foot the bill for a new roof, so they would keep insuring you, so you could keep your mortgage, so you could keep your house. I don't like that. Like, I don't like that at a fundamental level. I don't like being told what to do, and I really don't like being told what to do by some fucking banker. So that kind of lit a fire at my ass, and I was like, what if that happened to me, you know? And your insurance has to cover outbuildings that don't exist. Oh, I saw remember that channel we were watching with the cheap houses? They had one today that was in the middle of Kansas. This place was like $45,000 on 11 acres, and it had 0 neighbors and a new roof. Had no neighbors. And I got to think, I was like, well, what exactly is in Kansas? Because $45,000 wouldn't be that hard to come up with the rest.
Bro, he constantly flexes them, didn't even buy the houses in cash. I mean, that's the thing, bro. It's like they're $100,000 houses, and it's like in the middle of nowhere, too. So I don't know why he thought like women would just be lined up, you know, around the block of each house just waiting to suck his dick. It's like, I mean, congrats, bro. You basically have slumlord properties. GG's, Section 8 housing.
That right now for me. And it's like, then I checked it on Zillow, and it was already under contract. Already gone. And it listed yesterday. The redone sheds. I don't know. Chicken, cows, wheat, corn.
Well, dude, if he would move to a city in Ohio, he probably could find a girlfriend, but he wants to live in the fucking boonies. Like, what single woman moves to, like, a fucking rural-ass area after college? I'll tell you. The ones that are getting married. That's it. The only type of women you're going to find out in the fucking boonies are women that are already married, divorced single mothers, and old women. That's it. Any girl who's fresh out of college is not fucking moving to bumfuckistan in Ohio or wherever other state you live in. They're going to go to the biggest city near them because that's where all the jobs are. So if you want to find young, single women, you have to go where they're going to be working. So I don't really know why that's hard to understand, but yeah.
Data centers, well, that's true. They're putting data centers everywhere. They're putting data centers everywhere, and people around here are starting to really get pissed off about it. Like, they're like canceling council meetings because there's so many people that show up to basically tell them to go fuck themselves. They just stopped having city council meetings. That's not how that works. You're supposed to have an airing of grievances for the people to pay your fucking salaries. Somebody got their balls sucked and polished really, really hard over this deal, and people are pissed. It's highball. Thank you, brother. Thank you very, very much. Massive grabs on the 5 years, man. I made it to 2.5 years yesterday. Awesome, dude. Awesome.
Incognito Wizard with the 2. I live in the boonies, and I can second that. Yeah, that's the thing, bro. You know, again, if you want to live in the fucking boonies, that's fine, but know what you're getting into. Creators Freedom with the 2. Explain the boomer problem, please. I'll make it very quick. You have an entire generation of people that literally were handed a golden ticket for life simply by the virtue of them existing. They then, you know, twisted their minds into thinking they somehow did something special to deserve the outcomes that they achieved when it was literally just handed to them on a silver platter. They reap the benefits of the greatest economic growth in the history of humankind. And essentially they have resentment for anyone and everyone that came after them because they have it in their own minds that they worked harder than anyone who came before them and after them. And as a result, they have genuine resentment for the younger generations that are complaining about the state of affairs that the boomers brought on because, 1, they view it as a personal attack, and 2, they have it in their own head that they're somehow just as, you know, I guess, victimized as the younger generations are. And on top of that, they're extremely selfish. They don't want to pass on wealth to the next generation. They would rather kick their kids out of the house when they turn 18. They don't help out their kids with their grandkids. And it's just this vicious cycle of extremely selfish people treating their situation like, you know, only they deserve what they achieved, when in reality, they achieved nothing. They just were in the right place at the right time. So, it's just pure selfishness is the boomer generation summed up, I would say. Just incredibly selfish people, generally speaking. There's obviously exceptions, but the vast majority of them are just hippie fucks who are extremely fucking, you know, selfish. Griffin's grandma didn't even work and she fucked over his family. Boomers. Well, dude, it's not even that. It's like, you know, it's not even that she fucked over the family. It's like she's completely, like, gone dark on the family. She doesn't even talk to anybody anymore. She started dating this other guy and, you know, has basically gone dark on everybody. Doesn't call anyone anymore. You know, just disappeared. So, very odd, bro. I don't comprehend it at all. But yeah, she stiffed all the grandkids out of the money that that my grandfather left everybody when he died. So, but yeah, it's very odd, bro. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it personally. Like, I can't comprehend, like, just cutting off your own family because you start dating some, like, old fucking dude in, like, the final years of your life. Like, it's very odd, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't pretend to understand it. It's completely different than what my other grandma did, so. My other grandma was, like, extremely loving and kind and was always looking to get together with family, extremely generous, you know, would basically give the shirt off her back for, you know, the grandkids and stuff like that. So, you know, a wonderful lady. The other one, you know, it's a mixed bag. Like, she used to be really nice and everything. Always was selfish. That didn't really change. Just the level of selfishness. So, it's very odd. I don't know, man. I just, like, if you're approaching the end of your life, wouldn't you want family to be around you and have a good relationship with your kids and grandkids? And, you know, those are the people who are going to take care of you if the worst happens. And it's like to completely shut them off because, you know, you're doing whatever the hell you're doing. It's just kind of crazy. But I don't pretend to understand, man.
Yeah, that's what I was going to be talking about was sobriety. I forgot I got distracted. I never imagined 5 years sober would look like this. Never in my wildest dreams would I imagine I'd be streaming to 100 people, making money on the internet, freaking 18 after chatters. Never thought it was possible. Never thought it was possible. I never thought it was possible I would own property, let alone 2 houses. I never thought I'd have another new vehicle again. When I was sitting there in 2020, 2021, because I finally went to the hospital in 2021, that first half of 2021, because it was June 21st when I first went in. Wind blowing across Lake Erie. Well, okay, so the thing about Ohio you got to realize is we are 4 states in one. There's 4 distinct geographic regions and 4 distinct population centers. I live in Southwest Ohio, which is a very different place than South Central.
4 states in one? Bro, Ohio is not that big.
Northeast and Central Ohio. Like South Central, Southeast Ohio is like Appalachia. Southwest Ohio, the western part of the state is basically the start of the Midwest and also like the real actual start of the Midwest where everything's flat. Northeast Ohio might as well just be western New Jersey. Forget it's just like an extension of Pennsylvania. Like it's in Central Ohio, it's just a bunch of people sitting in a fucking kumbaya tent jerking each other off. They think their shit don't stink because they all got $1 million homes now somehow. Columbus real estate is retarded. But I was sitting in Columbus.
No, it's because people actually want to live there.
Letting my credit card collapse, letting my finances go to shit, looking at like 240 pounds. Felt I couldn't like function. I didn't leave my house, my apartment. I was sitting in a shitty roach-fested apartment with liquor bottles piling up. Just staying up all night, working during the day, drinking all the time. I mean, one of the only reasons I was able to drink as much as I drank is because I worked in an office and no one gave a shit. I think the only way most people can function in offices is if they're inebriated in some capacity. I didn't drink before.
The only way people can function in an office is if they're inebriated. Dude, holy shit.
Or work, very rarely. It was very rare. But there was lunch beers here and there, especially in New York, because it's just so easy to do that. And then I was at every happy hour that I could be. And usually an alcoholic, they load up.
I mean, yeah, I think based office drinking indeed, but that's like a crazy statement.
Their day life, their waking life is about getting to...
This is the same guy who said that whenever he interacted with the female account girls, he could barely control himself and hold off on jerking off while riding the train home after his day at work. Like, he literally recounted in detail about how he struggled not to bust in his pants on the way home from work because of how sexually worked up he was after interacting with women. It's like, what the fuck, bro?
The next point where you can start drinking. And there was a point, I was real low in the beginning of 2021 where like creditors were calling and like, I had a job too, but I still had no money to my name. I was literally spending $40 every 2 days on booze. Actually, pretty much every day. I was eating like cheese and summer sausage because I didn't want to cook. I hated cooking. I was in a bad place. It was a real bad place. You drank for 20 years, mostly as a bartender. Yeah, that is one thing I never wanted to be, was a bartender. And yeah, a lot of bartenders. The only bartenders I knew that were decent past the age of 30 were sober. The only ones, and they made so much money. They were great, but they were also the ones who, like, it was like clockwork. You'd get 5 drinks in and they cut you off. You were done. You had to go find someplace else to drink. And 5, that's just like getting started. Yeah, I spent a lot of time in bars in my 20s. My first job out of school was at a startup that was housed in an ad agency that represented a lot of nightlife in Columbus. And I didn't have any friends really because everybody graduated and they did not stay in contact. I didn't stay in contact. They didn't stay in contact. I don't think they really liked me very much. But I mean, I got invited to like happy hour drinks, food. They represented a restaurant/bar that I would go eat at, and that turned into drinks and pool at the Tree Bar.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Millennials watch Mad Men and think that's exactly what the workplace is like.
Till late in the morning, and I did that for 2 years. I mean, I think that they, you got a discount because you were part of that group that represented the bar and that sort of thing. They knew I didn't make any money, and I didn't really have any friends. And I had been dumped basically, and that was my. And then, I moved to New York because I wanted to keep drinking, and I knew that job was coming to an end, and it was not looking good, the idea of being able to find a job in Columbus, and it was just because I didn't really want to work. Most web dev jobs are basically just copy and pasting from Stack Overflow, and they say fake it till you make it. Well, I just faked it the entire time, and so I worked as like a front-end web developer for like 6 or 7 years in the beginning of my career. And then when I moved back from New York after I busted my foot and couldn't walk anywhere, and like,
I wouldn't even try to date at the end phase of life, like you're 60 years, no, older than that, bro. But yeah, I agree. I'm not even trying to date in my 20s. So, yeah. I guess I do understand pretty well. I'm not even desiring to date in my fucking 20s, much less my 60s. But yeah, by age 60, I'd be like, fuck that.
I was getting kicked out of my apartment from the female roommates I lived with because they hated that I drank. They drank too. That was the thing I didn't get. They just hated me. And I ended up back in Ohio, unemployed for a little while, and got a job at Chase, the corporate office, a contractor, and started doing Salesforce. And Salesforce is a very programmatic. It's SQL. It's list management. It's writing a bunch of queries. It's not ActionScript. They call it something else. There's some script. I forget what it is. It's for email. But I made emails. 19 years, Control-C, Control-V. Exactly. It's not Apex code. It's oh god. I used to talk about it all the time, and it's gone. I have no recollection of what it could be. It's basically JavaScript, but it's for programmatic email development on the fly. And you can write HTML based on the client that receives the email. It's actually pretty cool, the things you can do. Like, you can have personalization written down to like specific pixel areas for specific people. And I got really good at that over the years, and I worked with some people that were really patient and great. My manager, I'm not gonna tell you what her name was because you cretins will go searching for them. But I had some really great managers there.
He's probably already said it at some point.
And incredibly patient people. If you ever see this, I love you guys. I miss you. I was drunk. So AI. No, AmScript. Yes, AmScript. Yes, AmScript. That's what it was. I don't know what it stands for, but it's AmScript is what they call it.
Notice a lot of people around him eventually hate him. Yep.
And I
very grating.
Made emails for corporate marketing teams for Chase and then Nationwide and then Kroger, and I made a lot of money doing that. So I had a pretty good career, but the corporate career was really just me figuring out a way not to work because office work is not hard. I mean, the fact that when I got sober, I was so fucking bored that I literally it took me a year to figure out that I could afford a house and then I could renovate it and fix it up and everything. And of course, by then I had my debt paid off, and I couldn't get approved for a loan because I started contracting for Chase, and mortgage companies don't like independent contractors. You have to have like 2 years and all this money and all this other stuff. If you have got a W-2 job, they'll literally spit out a loan for you out of their fucking ass, no problem. But the goddamn self-employed route for a mortgage is a nightmare. It's a nightmare, as I learned again this year. And so I couldn't buy a house because I had the housing prices around here were still great. You could find a 1,200 square foot ranch in the middle of the country. I literally looked at this one place. It would have been perfect. It was on like this hill in the country. I think it was in Champaign County, and it had like 2 barns and an outbuilding. It was like 2 acres with a ranch house on it. They wanted $150,000 for it. And it's like, What's up, PPP Zone Guns? Good to see you. But yeah, you just get bored when you're not drinking and you're working corporate America. And because it's, if you're not in meetings all day and then remote work, you're not in meetings all day, you have time to do things like renovate a house. You have time you have time. It's, and I get my fan going here. I've done a lot in the last 5 years. I feel like I completely 180 the direction of which I was going, and I speed ran through some things that I thought would. Every decision I've made in the last 5 years has been me making an attempt to correct or make my life better in the future. Price of house from 2010 to 2014. Yeah, well, 2014 was the time to buy in Ohio. This house, the one I'm sitting in, transacted for $52,000 in 2014. There was no appreciable difference between the house then and the house when I bought it. And the dude sold it to me for double that. He wanted $150,000, and I got him down to $112,000. And then he insisted on the extra $500,000, $112,500. I knew a guy who bought a condo in Columbus, Olentangy Village, in like 2014 for like $150,000, and he sold it in 2018 for double, and he had already paid it off. He was married, and he was a liberal too, and he got married and had a kid, and moved to the suburbs and Hilliard and everything. Okay, Drew, thank you, brother. Congratulations on 5 years, brother. Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you, man. I really appreciate everybody. Really. It's 5 years. The first year, it takes you 1 year of not drinking, I think, especially if you've been doing it for that long. And it's because you gotta remember, I was doing everything in my life, every decision I was making in my life, down to what neighborhood I would live in, what apartment I would take, what job I would take, how I bought food. Like, it was all about being able to get as drunk as possible every single day. I don't think people really comprehend what it's like to actually be an alcoholic. Every day was a race to that 4:30, 5 o'clock to start drinking. And then there towards the end, it got earlier and earlier and earlier and earlier until I was popping it open at 7:30 in the morning. Work from home, baby. Tough road to hoe, and it does ruin your liver, and I turned yellow and I almost died. And, I'm alive thanks to my dad, who came and took me to the hospital and then let me crash for 45 days, and I moved back into Columbus and immediately relapsed for 2 weeks. And then August 19th, 2021, I was back in the ER, and I made a decision that night I was never going to drink again. And I haven't. And it was...
Would I say front-end web development died? Yeah, pretty much. With AI, you can do all that shit in a matter of seconds. So, I mean, and then on top of that, you have, like, all the tools like Wix and shit like that, basically commodified that shit anyway.
It was August or September the following year, 2022, before I felt like a human being again. I don't know how else to describe that.
If we don't get $80 fucking I'm drinking right now. Exactly. If there's not already a splash of bourbon in the coffee.
Yeah, drink before the shift to get through it. Most alcoholics do not drink to get drunk. They drink to keep withdrawal at bay. And towards the end, I was very much drinking to keep withdrawal at bay. And that's not a good place to be. And then you start doing the malnourishment thing because you're not eating, and then like your lipids and sugar gets all weird, and then your liver starts to hit your brain. I think I have some brain issues. There's some cognitive issues.
I think so.
I have noticed that if I eat too much sugar or junk food, it starts to really affect me. But if I keep it on the lower end of the carb spectrum and more protein, I'm in a good place, usually. Fatigue doesn't help, stress, cortisol, all that stuff. This year has been very stressful. I've had every reason to pick the bottle back up. And I haven't. I've become a streamaholic. Hello, my name is Raymond, and I'm addicted to Kick. Can't get enough of that KPP, that sweet KPP, Kick Partner Program. If you're a streamer and you are wondering if Kick is better, it is. Payouts are better, the audio quality is better, that there's no delay between when you talk and it actually happens on the screen. Touch KPP now, exactly. Came to work drunk, he wasn't drunk, he was super belligerent. Well, look, people tolerate a lot, especially when you're like conscientious and competent at your job, and you can hide behind a lot. You can hide. People knew. I mean, I'm sure people knew. I was never pulled aside and told, oh, you need to stop this, stop that. But corporate America is not that way. They'll be like, well, is there anything we need to know? They'll get you to admit it. Very tricky how they do that. Because if they ask you directly, that's a lawsuit. But if you admit it, that's grounds. The more you know. But I don't want to talk about when I was drunk. I want to talk about the last 5 years. So the first year, I paid off all my debt. I lost a bunch of weight. I learned how to cook again, or really for the first time. I got to know my father. We watched a lot of Night Gallery, Twilight Zone, Fight Club, those movies, guy movies, kind of thing. Sisu, Snowpiercer, Iron Sky. Remember that movie where the Nazis went to the moon? Something like that. Watched a lot of movies. Because that's one thing, I was just bored. You have to fill the time with something else, which is why I took on that house project that I took on. And in hindsight, I kind of probably mistakenly attributed some kind of reward in my head for that. But really what that was something to focus on that wasn't drinking. Because you do not realize how much energy, caloric energy, that the alcohol and then balancing that habit with a full life. I was running double octane all the time. And, I was still working my full-time job. I was getting paid good money too. And I was sinking pretty much every dime of it into that house and working on it about 6 hours a day. I'd start working on it about noon, about 11 o'clock. And of course, if something was coming up, I had to fix something or do something at work, I would do that. But I had a lot of downtime at work.
Yeah, exactly. Please, guys, celebrate financially with me about me not drinking. Wowie zowie, man.
Describing ambient music like in The Shining, which I found interesting. So that's actually an auditory hallucination.
I mean, it's ironic because there's hundreds of millions, if not billions of people on this planet that have zero issue with alcohol, but because Raymond did have an issue with it, and you know he hasn't drank it in 5 years. It's like some huge event. Like, I don't know, who the fuck cares, bro?
When you're withdrawing from alcohol, you're coming
Like, good for you, but holy shit,
down is a phenomenon that I have experienced before, and it is very akin to like
why would anyone else care?
Biohazard music, that game, or The Shining. It's been a long time since I've experienced that stuff, and there's been some reminders, especially lately, of like I'm really glad I don't drink. There's everything in my life is better now that I don't, and I'm very glad that I don't. I don't know how else.
No, basically what happened is Raymond thought if he stopped drinking, paid off his debt, bought a house, and lost weight, then he would get laid. Like, he is very transactionally coded. Like, he thought if I accomplish X, Y, and Z, then I will get laid. I will be able to find a woman who wants to suck me and fuck me for the rest of my days. So he thought if he just checked off those items, then magically, you know, the perfect woman would appear. So it's the typical millennial mindset of, I deserve this because I did this. And it's like, okay, well, yeah, sure.
Put that. I'm very glad I quit drinking. I'm glad I'm alive. Been more in the old life for a while, like you say, at least a year before you feel normal. Countless mental battles have gone hardcore into running since. Oh, nice, good for you. 60 to 70 miles a week. Yeah, the bike. I overdid it. I think the bike, the injury thing was a combination of yelling and screaming into the microphone because I was getting frustrated. I was getting frustrated because I was. When you don't interact with other people and you don't have a Steam valve or event, you just start and you're watching just red pill bullshit all the time on YouTube. You stop watching that shit, guys. Stop. Just you're not doing yourself any favors.
Yeah, they made fun of me.
Just start watching other stuff. You're just gonna make yourself insane, especially if you
Watch card flipping content. It's actually useful.
can't get laid. Holy shit! Don't watch it if you can't get laid. The black pill videos, also are crap. You know, I really only watch it when it's for this channel, but I was making myself crazy because I was watching these guys and they were getting like 80% of the way there, and I just kept noticing that there was like a 20% remainder where they just weren't getting it. They were not saying things that were actually reflective of the life I was experiencing. And then, you know, I had the neighbors doing the endless lawn care, and I had the old windows in, so it was even louder, and the traffic and everything. I was just sitting here all the time. So the house was done. It was on the market. And I thought, okay, let's buy a camera and start making videos because fuck it. I don't have anything to lose. And I don't regret a single video I made. People like to recut them and do all this other crap, and they think they got some kind of gotcha or mock me or anything. And it's like, if you actually watch those in good faith, you realize how vile and in bad faith they actually are. I'm very proud of the pantheon of work that I put together in the last 2 years on YouTube. And I'm pissed that YouTube has created an environment in which people, if you are on their bad side, they can implement YouTube's tools to get you taken off the platform. Oh yeah, I spent a lot of time watching the endless TikTok women, the VTuber anime characters that always just had the screaming women on their channels. It's like, I don't care. At a certain point, you have to turn that off because, like, if you're not having interactions with females in your real life, it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating. So, you know, I speed ran a YouTube career, and we saw how people took me out of the knees this year. And it thank God for Kick. Your channel definitely helped me from last spring. It was good having a relatable sober guy to listen to. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't talk enough about sobriety. I don't talk enough about my struggle with booze. But suffice it to say, you have to understand that it was a daily thing for me. I think over the course of the 10, 12 years, each year there might have been 4 days total, and some years none, where I did not drink. And I usually was loaded up enough that I could last a couple days before I really started to have issues. It's a bad place to be. It's a real bad place to be. And I guess what I want to say is that if you think you have a problem, you probably do. Medical detox is necessary for alcohol. Some other things you can get away with not, but medical detox is, you need to go to an ER has to admit you, even if you don't have insurance, you don't have any money, or even if your insurance, you're afraid it's not going to cover it. Medical detox, actually, under Obamacare, they have to cover it. It's one of those ER things. But again, if you're worried about money and you're drinking every day, you're having the wrong equation in your head. And I'm not a big adherent in AA. That's the other thing people hate about me. I don't go to AA. AA works for some people. I grew up in church, and AA is way too evangelical preachy, like Lutheran Methodist style preachy. It works for some people. It's like therapy. Your therapist has to be smarter than you. I'm sorry, I don't care what people say. I'm smarter than most of the drunks in AA. Also, AA has this dogmatic compliance culture where you have to flagellate yourself, whip yourself in the back, whatever the term is for that. You have to publicly humiliate yourself and say that you are the worst person that has ever existed. And quite frankly, I have struggled with self-identity, self-image issues, depression, and all of the things that go on with low self-esteem from a very early age. And I don't think I need to tell you that I'm a bad person. Who needs AA when you got Ray Ray? There it is. That's it. Hell yeah, man. That's it. Who needs AA when you got Ray Ray? That's it, man. That's it. That's it. What are you doing?
Dude, what the fuck are those sound effects?
So much rather talk about Belle Delphine than I ran. I really would. Oh, that actually in this. That's it, right? Okay, that's it.
To the point where I was just like in my head, needing to almost ejaculate my stress somewhere. And I'm the crazy one, it's me, I'm the psychopath.
Man, that's perfect. I'm so happy you posted that. Oh, that makes me
Yeah, Kick is the objectively better streaming platform. I agree. Absolutely. Completely agree.
happy. That makes me happy. Anyway, what was I saying? I was saying something. I had spent. Whoops. Chadlet just started playing. We'll get into this. I'm worried about him. I am actually worried about him. He's not doing well. Yeah. So I don't do AA. I don't comply with the anti-natalist, anti-life agenda. I don't think that endlessly yelling and shouting at people is helpful. I make fun of women and stuff.
Yeah, it's just fucking, TikTok slop noises.
Here, it's a steam valve for you guys. Let's be honest. Obviously, I don't actually mean any ill intent or harm. If somebody wants me to back off, I backed off. Dell. I don't talk about Dell anymore. Shelby, she can't.
Dude, he got his heart broken by Dell. He thought he had a chance. She's like, no, he's weird. Brutal, dude.
I get my name out of her mouth. I think she secretly is in love with me. I gotta be honest with you. Her and her
Oh yeah, dude, it's not the other way around.
and Star, that'd be a threesome. Ooh.
Now, Shelby, you cannot suck it like that. I don't know why that's I lost the accent. I used to have the accent.
No, you get out with Raymond. This is my life. Like, fuck my
Fuck my
life.
life.
This is not going to be the future. We're not.
Shelby, you must come to the base of the shaft.
Yeah, but anyway, I don't do AA really because I don't want to. And I think that living a life where you're constantly telling yourself and everybody else around that you're the problem and you're a horrible person, people don't view you as capable. They view you as pitiable. And sure, I've given a lot of weak points for people to criticize and mock, and they have relentlessly. They've tried everything they can to steal my joy, and I won't let them do that, especially about 5 years sober. I'm still not over the reversals that I've had in the beginning of this year, from the house not selling to the YouTube channel, gaining weight, that sort of thing. Again, thank God for Kick. If I didn't have Kick, I don't know what I would do. But try to do Rumble, I guess.
I can't afford this shit.
I have 5 years today, and it doesn't really even feel real. In the end, it is kind of a number. And people who I've had the criticism that, well, if you have to, like, are you really sober if you're counting days?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, that's the point. Like, I have
No, it's not.
a really bad one. As in, I couldn't cumulatively tell you. I think there were 2 times in the last, from 2011 to 2021. There was 2 instances, once in 2017 and once in 2020, right when COVID started, where I went 10 days consecutively. Other than that, not one time did I go more than 1 or 2 days. And if I went 2 days, that was like once a year, without booze. And I didn't just have a couple. I was trying to be blackout drunk every time I drank. Now, if that was the case for you, wouldn't you do anything you possibly could to get yourself to not drink?
Oh my god.
And 1,825 days, 1,826 this evening, is a really, that feels like a really good place to be. Can't remember how you see the badges on here. Milestones? Yeah, see, I got my 5-year coming up this evening.
Oh my god.
I never thought I would see that. Because 1 year hits, and then 2
Just like I thought I'd never see the sunrise again.
year hits, 3 years hit. About the 3rd year, I stopped having cravings. Now I don't have cravings at all. It just doesn't happen. The season change started being a trigger point. Like, I remember walking out in spring, like after it was particularly cold in like 2022, in like the square here in town, and getting a whiff of some beer off a patio. Because like downtown is like this square with all these 1800s buildings and stuff. And they all have patios and outdoor drinking and outdoor everything. You get a whiff
A whiff of beer on the breeze.
of like some beer, and you're like, oh, just smells like piss to me. My one neighbor.
All right, call me crazy, guys. Maybe I haven't been around enough bars and shit, but I've never been standing, far removed from a drinking establishment and been like, is that the smell of beer on the air? I don't know. Call me crazy.
Well, yeah, fall, spring, the season's changing. They fight like cats and dogs. Oh, yeah, God. I keep forgetting that women have like personalities and they can speak, and then you start hearing them speak, and you're like, oh God, that just came out of your mouth? Jesus Christ. Like, this is another reason we watch what we watch here.
I forgot that women have personalities and they speak. Brutal.
And you know what? After the way I've been treated for the last 2 years, I don't want to hear anybody give me shit about the comments I make about women. I've seen what they say about me. I still can't believe I got ran off YouTube by a bunch of simpy incels. With friends like these, who need enemies, right? Marshall? I got.
Yeah, it's a phantom odor, bro. Good lord, man. Just holy app. Let's see. Creators freedom with the 2.